no significant developments at this time. He's still in critical condition. He is still alive, thank God. As of 3:30 this afternoon, he's still in critical condition. We have some little bit of physical evidence, and they are pursuing that. I know there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of fright in the area. We've increased patrols along the Halsted Street area. We've increased patrols on Broadway.
The anger and the isolation that they fear right now because they've seen this or heard this on the news can be, changed. It can be actively channeled into something that is really meaningful. So when hundreds of gay and lesbian and bisexual and heterosexual people who are concerned about hate crime and specifically about gay bashing meet in the streets with their torches and their banners and their prayers and their songs and their candles, we're sending the message out to the community that a human life is important.
And it's an opportunity for every one of you to stand up for your personal rights, your personal safety, get yourself out on the street and say no more.
To stop this kind of things is what we're doing. More people saying we've had enough. We've had enough.
This backlash of violence is intended to chase us back into the closet. By coming out here tonight, you are saying to everyone that we are not going back and we're going to fight this violence.
I was having dinner with my father last night and listening to him talk how anti-gay and homophobic he is. This felt like a good way to counteract that, to come out and protest.
I am completely stunned by the turnout. They were only expecting about 200, 250 people, and there are probably 1,000 people here. I know a lot of it has to do with everything that's happened in the past few days, and Ron getting shot and the bartender dying a couple weeks ago. So I'm really impressed, and I'm very happy people in the community finally stood up and said they're not going to take this anymore.
I was bashed on Halsted Street about a block from the police station. I was beat up by a cup van because I looked like I was queer.
Did you press charges?
I tried to press charges, but the police arrested me instead and put me in jail. That's the way the system works here in Chicago.
Please, join me for a moment of silence for all of our victims, but also to recognize our strength. Please.
Mayor tonight showed up for a candlelight vigil by Chicago gays, but it quickly turned into an explosion of anger, fueling the recent attacks on homosexuals, including Ray Keough. Tonight, he's in critical condition after being shot because he is gay. As Channel 2's Lauren Menti tells us, protesters tonight are demanding action.
If we could have your attention again, we now have two men here who are here to hear our voices, Mayor Daley and Superintendent Martin.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm here as Mayor of the City of Chicago and a citizen. Please. I am here this evening to say to you that as mayor and state's attorney and as a citizen, everybody is against hate crimes, gay bashing. I have nothing to be ashamed of in my life. I am very proud of the commitment that I've made to the city. I'm here tonight to pledge to you that working together, praying for the individual who was seriously injured, that hate crimes and violent crimes will not exist in this city. Thank you very much. Thank you.
there's a great inconsistency in his attending an event, but doing nothing in the form of legislation or in the form of funding to substantiate his participation.
I think there's no question that around Chicago, in all 50 wards and in the suburbs of this city, there are going to be a lot of gray-haired old ladies and old men seeing the mayor marching with the faggots and queers tonight. They're going to think a little bit. The mayor and the queers, maybe it's okay, or maybe I shouldn't be so upset about it like I was before. Do you have to accept the fact that he's a symbol and he's a leadership person, and what he does makes news?
Mayor Richard Daley was shouted down and heckled tonight at a rally to denounce gay bashing. The rally was in memory of a gay bartender murdered 15 years ago. But the rally took on new meaning only 3 days ago when another gay bartender was shot. That man, Ron Kayat, remains in critical condition at this hour, and the protesters say Mayor Daley is not doing enough to stop the violence. Al Waters joins us live from Uptown, where the march is just ending. Al?
That's right, Robin. Eventually, the heckling did die down, and by the time they ended the parade here just a few minutes ago, they were actually protesting the violence against gays and lesbians. Now, Ron Kayat is still listed in critical condition at Illinois Masonic Medical Center. We talked with a physician who operated on Ron earlier this week and said he was very lucky. Right now, they performed a very unusual surgery on him. They're hoping that they can save his trachea, that's his windpipe, and his voice box. Right now, it's touch and go with him, and they're hoping that they'll know sometime next week whether or not he's going to pull through.
When I was laying in the hospital, I keep wondering why I lived, because there was so much pain, and you don't feel good. You're laying there, you're basically a skeleton. Why did I live? And I probably asked myself that thousands of times, as in like I wish I would have died. I have asked the question, why me? I've done nothing to nobody. I have been an upstanding citizen throughout my life. I've worked hard for the things that I have, and then in 1/1000th of a second, somebody takes it all away from you. When I first came around after they shut off the drugs, I thought I went nuts because I had no idea I was shot. And, you know, all these strange dreams that I had, that it just seemed commonplace that I knew where I was, but why? And finally it was explained to me by my mother, as in, she says, Ron, you were shot. And she says, she explained the whole thing to me. And at that point, I couldn't talk. So everything was like an eye contact. I could move my lips, and of course, nothing would come out. The only thing I'm angered by is I know the people that shot me were Puerto Rican, and I have to live a gay lifestyle. I look at it as one minority strikes out against another minority. And how senseless can this be? As in, aren't we trying for the same thing? As in, just to live life and get along with one another. And yet, they have the audacity to come out and strike me down. Someone being prejudiced is a taught response. And when we do learn it, we learn how to control it. As in, I can allow myself to be friends with Puerto Ricans and blacks, and right on down the line, I care about these people still. And the only one I do have a bitter hatred for is the guy who pulled the trigger. What's his name? No one knows. My mom would like to meet him. My mom would like to choke the life out of him, just like he's done to me. Being gay was never really spoken about in our house. They knew about it, but it was like a subject that just doesn't need to be discussed. Pulling it all together, and like Mayor Daley is going to speak to a crowd of people that have rallied in my support. My dad couldn't believe that they wouldn't let Daley speak, and my dad's watching this on the news going, my son caused all this. One day my mom and dad came into the hospital room, and I knew that they had been through a lot with me being there and through surgeries, etc. And finally my dad says, you know, like, the gay bashing has got to be stopped because of being so senseless. I looked at my dad and I couldn't believe he said the word gay, let alone gay bashing. And he knew what he was talking about because he's experienced it firsthand. You see a lot of people that walk in, and after they're in the door, they realize that we're in a gay bar. Oh, they either turn and run, or they just look around and enjoy. The ones that turn and run are the ones that need to be a little bit more educated than what they already are. Because, I mean, like, I don't bite. I'm not going to come up and grab you or throw you against the wall or anything like that. I mean, like, can we just be friends? That's it.
People talk too loud. When I'm sitting on a bus or walking down the street or talking to my friends, people talk much too loud. They talk about morality and they talk about sin, discussing diseases, discussing children. They talk too loud. And I know they're talking about me and my friends. People talk too loud when they show me their favorite book on my lunch hour. They think I need that book and they tell me so. Loud. People in high places speak too loud and listen too little. They talk about compassion, they talk about responsibility, and they talk about values. And I don't want to get married, they hear me say. They say that my hug, my kiss, my voice are too loud. They want me to listen to it every day and not bother those people who talk too loud. But they don't just talk.
Nobody likes nobody. 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 Nobody likes. Nobody likes.
You, my friend. You, my friend. You, my friend. You.
I don't like this.
Later's too late. Later's too late.
To redeem yourself.
Later's too late.
To redeem yourself.
Tell me about
The isolation.
Tell me about
Evil.
Tell me about
Nightmare world.
Tell me about utopia.
Ever see a dead boy's eyes? Ever see a dead boy's eyes?
Nobody likes nobody. 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 Nobody likes.